Jordan Miller had spent weeks preparing for the Christmas party. His home was the one place where he felt safe, calm, and in control. Tonight, it was full of noise, loud music, cousins laughing, plates clinking, and children running through the halls with candy canes in their hands. The house smelled like roasted chicken and cinnamon, and everyone seemed happy. Jordan tried to relax. He had worked so many night shifts this month, and all he wanted was one peaceful evening with his family. He moved through the living room, greeting relatives, smiling politely, doing his best to enjoy the moment. Then he heard something strange. He was walking past the hallway when he caught a low, tense whisper coming from the small guest room. He paused. It was his father, Tom Miller, and his younger sister, Rachel. Their voices sounded sharp, angry. Jordan frowned and stepped closer, staying out of sight. Rachel's voice shook. "Dad, I didn't want it to go this far." Tom cut her off. "The buyer is ready. All we need are the papers." Jordan's stomach tightened. Buyer? Papers? What were they talking about? He leaned in, trying to understand. Before he could put the pieces together, Tom snapped in frustration, loud enough for Jordan to hear clearly. "Rachel, I sold the house. Your mess won't clean itself." Jordan froze. Sold the house. His heart dropped. For a moment, everything around him, the laughter, the music, the lights, blurred out. All he could hear was that one sentence echoing again and again. He didn't even realize he'd pushed the door open until both of them jumped to look at him. Rachel's face instantly filled with guilt. Tom's expression went cold, like he had been expecting this moment. "What did you just say?" Jordan demanded, breath shaking. "Tell me you didn't sell my house." Tom sighed as if Jordan were annoying him. "Your house? You're being selfish again. Rachel is drowning in debt. You're doing fine. This is what real family does. Helps each other." Jordan felt the air leave his chest. "Without telling me? Without asking me? This is my home." Rachel looked down at her hands, unable to meet his eyes. Her cheeks were red with shame. She looked like she wanted to speak but couldn't. Tom stepped closer, his voice sharp. "You should be grateful, Jordan. You live too comfortably while your sister suffers. You've always been too safe, too careful. It's time you contributed properly." Outside the room, the party continued. People laughed, children squealed, someone clinked a glass for a toast. No one knew that inside this small room, Jordan's world was cracking apart. He felt anger, hurt, disbelief all at once. How could his own father do this? How could Rachel let it happen? In his own home, his sanctuary, the place he had worked years to earn, he felt betrayed and stripped of everything he trusted. And the night had only just begun. His mother, Linda, died young, leaving him and Rachel alone with their father, Tom. Life changed overnight. Jordan was still a teenager, but he had to grow up fast. There was no softness, no comfort, no one to guide him through grief. Tom was distant, angry, and focused only on himself, so Jordan stepped into the role no child should have to fill. He became the responsible one. While other kids enjoyed school and friends, Jordan worked after classes to help pay bills. He learned how to cook, clean, study, and work all at once. He made sure Rachel ate, made sure she did her homework, made sure the house didn't fall apart. He didn't complain because he felt he had to protect his little sister. Rachel, unlike Jordan, didn't deal with grief through responsibility. She was charming, sweet, and full of energy. Everyone loved her. Tom loved her even more. He called her his princess, showered her with affection, and forgave every mistake she made. If Rachel spent too much money, Tom paid it off. If she fought with a boyfriend, Tom took her side. If she got into trouble, Tom blamed everyone except her. Jordan, on the other hand, felt invisible. No matter how hard he worked, Tom brushed him off. "You're too boring, Jordan. You live too safely. You're not fun like your sister." Those words stuck with him for years. After finishing high school, Jordan became a nurse and worked long hours, often double shifts. He saved every penny. Rachel, meanwhile, drifted through life. Credit card debt, impulsive shopping sprees, toxic boyfriends. She fell into the same patterns again and again. And Tom always rushed in to rescue her. Even when she was clearly at fault, Jordan felt trapped in a strange role. He was expected to help everyone else, but no one helped him. When Jordan finally bought his house, it was the first real achievement that felt like his. He worked years of overtime to afford it. He didn't take vacations. He skipped meals. He stretched his pay as far as it could go. That house wasn't just a building. It was the symbol of his independence and stability. But even then, Tom never acknowledged it. "You're too safe," he repeated. "You could have bought something bigger. Or more exciting." Jordan learned to keep his joy quiet. He learned that Tom would never be proud of him. Still, he tried to maintain peace. He invited them over for holidays, helped Rachel when she cried about breakups, and let himself believe that maybe one day things would change. But things only got worse. Tom's behavior grew more controlling as he got older. He used guilt to push Jordan into doing things, always using lines like "family sacrifice" or "real family supports each other." But these phrases were only used when Rachel needed something. Tom played Jordan and Rachel against each other constantly. If Jordan tried to stand up for himself, Tom accused him of being selfish. If Rachel made a mistake, Tom blamed Jordan for not supporting her enough. Jordan felt exhausted all the time. After long nursing shifts, he would come home physically drained but emotionally even more tired. He was carrying everyone: Tom's expectations, Rachel's problems, and his own silent fears. More than anything, he wanted peace. He wanted respect. He wanted to build a life that wasn't tied to chaos. When he planned the Christmas party, he hoped it would be a fresh start. He cleaned every corner of the house, cooked a big meal, and told himself this year might be different. He wanted laughter, not arguments. He wanted to show his family that he could bring everyone together. Instead, the party became the breaking point. All his life, Jordan feared one thing: that he might become like Tom, repeating the same toxic patterns, hurting people he cared about, losing himself in anger or bitterness. He feared that all his hard work could disappear if he wasn't careful. And when he discovered the truth about the house being sold behind his back, that fear became real. Everything he built, everything he protected, everything he worked for since he was a teenager, was now at risk of being taken away. Jordan confronts Tom in front of Rachel again, demanding clarity. His hands were shaking, his voice tight with anger and disbelief. "Tell me the truth," he said. "How could you sell my house? How did you even do it?" Tom didn't look scared or guilty. Instead, he looked annoyed, like Jordan was interrupting something unimportant. He crossed his arms and sighed loudly. "Fine," Tom said. "You want the truth? I used those old papers you signed years ago. I copied your signature. The buyer accepted it. Everything is done legally." Jordan stared at him, stunned. "You forged my signature? On my house?" Tom shrugged. "It was necessary. Rachel was in trouble. A loan shark was threatening her. I had to act fast. I saved your sister." Jordan felt like his chest was being crushed. He turned to Rachel, hoping, praying, that she would deny it, that she would defend him, that she would say she had no idea. But Rachel's eyes filled with tears. She looked down and whispered, "I knew a little bit, not everything. I didn't stop Dad. I was scared." Those words hit harder than anything else. "Rachel," Jordan said softly, "you knew he was taking my home. And you didn't tell me?" Her silence was the answer. Tom stepped forward, his voice rising. "Enough, Jordan. You should be grateful. You're the man of this family. You have a good job. You can start over. Rachel needed help." Jordan shook his head slowly. "Grateful? You stole from me. You lied to me. You took the only thing I worked for." Tom rolled his eyes. "Stop being dramatic. This is what real family does, sacrifice. And you're always too selfish to understand that." Jordan felt something shift inside him. Something deep and painful snapped. The anger didn't explode. No shouting, no crying. Instead, a cold, calm silence spread through him. A dangerous silence. He felt himself detach from the moment, from the noise, from the hurt. Tom didn't notice the change. He kept talking, as if he had won the argument. "Oh, and one more thing," Tom added casually, as if it were nothing. "The buyer wants to use the house soon. You have 30 days to move out. Start packing." Jordan blinked, trying to understand the words. 30 days? You're throwing me out of my own home. "It's not your home anymore," Tom said. "It's done." Rachel gasped softly but didn't defend him. The room felt smaller. The air felt colder. Jordan felt like he was standing on a cliff, looking down at everything he had built, everything collapsing in front of him. He wanted to scream. He wanted to break something. He wanted to cry like he hadn't cried in years, but instead, he stood completely still. His breathing slowed. His face went blank. His voice, when he finally spoke, was quiet and steady. "Okay," he said. "If this is how you want it, then I will handle it." Tom smirked, thinking he had won. Good. Finally acting like a man. But Jordan wasn't agreeing. He was choosing something else. For the first time in his life, he wasn't trying to please his father. He wasn't trying to fix Rachel's mistakes. He wasn't carrying the family's chaos. He was done. As he walked out of the room, he felt a strange strength rise in him. A sharp, clear determination. The pain didn't disappear, but it gave him a new purpose. This incident wasn't just a betrayal. It was the moment that pushed him toward justice, toward truth, and toward breaking the toxic cycle that had trapped him for years. Nothing would ever be the same again. Jordan moves temporarily into a friend's apartment, carrying more than just a suitcase. He carries the weight of betrayal, anger, and sadness. Every night, he lies awake thinking about how quickly his life changed. One day he had a home, and the next he was pushed out of it by his own father. His phone buzzes constantly. Some family members tell him he is wrong for exposing family business and making things public. They say things like, "You should have handled this quietly. Tom is still your father. You're breaking the family apart." These words hurt, but other relatives quietly reach out to him. They tell him things they were too scared to say before. "Your dad has always been controlling. He treats you unfairly. He only cares about Rachel." Hearing this gives Jordan some comfort, but it also makes him realize how deep the problem runs. Meanwhile, Rachel is falling apart. She leaves Jordan short messages, apologizing over and over, but never giving the full truth. She is drowning in guilt, but she is still hiding something. He can feel it in her silence. Jordan knows he has to fight back, so he hires a real estate attorney. When he explains the situation, the lawyer listens carefully and then says, "This is complicated. Forged signatures can be used to legally transfer property if done carefully. But it's not hopeless. It will take time, money, and patience." Jordan feels a small bit of hope, but also fear. Going to court means turning against his father completely. It also means uncovering family secrets he may not be ready for. But things get worse when Jordan learns the truth behind Rachel's debt. Her ex-boyfriend wasn't just irresponsible. He was involved in illegal activities. He borrowed money from dangerous people and left Rachel to deal with the consequences. The loan shark Tom talked about wasn't just some random man. He was connected to those illegal dealings. Jordan feels anger rising again, not just at Rachel, but at Tom for hiding all of this. Tom never explained the full truth. He used fear to push Jordan aside and take control. A few days later, Tom sends Jordan a message. "Drop the case. You're destroying our family name. Don't be stupid." Jordan reads the message again and again. The emotional manipulation is clear. Tom is still trying to control him, just like always. Inside, Jordan fights a war with himself. He feels anger, but also compassion for Rachel. He feels loyalty, but also a need to protect his self-respect. He feels fear, but also courage building inside him. He knows he can't give up. Not this time. Jordan begins gathering evidence. He writes down dates, saves emails and text messages, and organizes financial documents. He wants everything ready. He doesn't want Tom to twist the truth again. One night, Rachel finally calls him. Her voice is soft and shaky. "I'm sorry," she says. "Dad, he does this to me too. He makes me feel like I owe him everything. I didn't stop him because I was scared." Jordan listens quietly. His chest tightens. He wants to help her. He always has. But he also knows helping her before only encouraged the same cycle. "I'm sorry," Rachel repeats, crying. "I know," Jordan says, "but I can't let him ruin my life anymore." He means it. He cares for her, but he refuses to be sacrificed again. A week later, the lawyer calls Jordan with new information. "I found something strange," the lawyer says. "The buyer isn't a stranger. It's someone your father knows, a co-worker." The documents show they started planning this sale weeks before the Christmas party. Jordan almost drops his phone. Weeks before? Before the party? Before the fight? So Tom didn't act out of panic. He didn't rush to save Rachel. He planned it behind Jordan's back, carefully and selfishly. Jordan sits down slowly, feeling a new kind of pain. A deep betrayal that settles heavily in his chest. The truth is clear now. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't a quick decision. This was a betrayal planned long before he ever overheard that conversation. And for the first time in his life, Jordan realizes he must break away from this family for good, no matter how painful the path forward becomes. Jordan confronts Tom at his workplace with evidence. He walks into the office building with a folder in his hand, his heart beating fast but his mind steady. When Tom sees him standing there, his face hardens instantly. "What are you doing here?" Tom snaps. Jordan places the folder on Tom's desk. "I know everything. The buyer is your colleague. You planned the sale weeks before Christmas. You forged my signature. You lied about why you did it." For a moment, Tom says nothing. Then his face turns red with anger. "You ungrateful boy," he shouts. "After everything I've done for this family, this is how you repay me? You're weak, Jordan. You're nothing without this family. Nothing." Jordan doesn't respond. He stands there calmly, even though his hands are trembling. Years of pain sit heavy in his chest, but he refuses to break this time. Just then the elevator opens and Rachel steps out. Her eyes are swollen from crying and she looks terrified. She didn't plan to be here, but she knew the truth needed to come out. "Jordan." "Dad, please stop," she whispers. Tom turns to her sharply. "Why are you here? Go home." But Rachel shakes her head. "No. I'm done staying quiet." Tom's jaw tightens. "Rachel." She steps forward, tears running down her cheeks. "Jordan needs to know everything." Jordan looks at her, confused and worried. Rachel takes a deep breath. "Dad didn't sell the house just because of my debt. He used half the money for himself, to pay off a failed business loan he hid from everyone." Tom slams his hand on the desk. "Rachel." "Enough." But she continues, voice shaking. "And he threatened me. He told me if I didn't stay quiet, he would cut me off forever. He said I ruined everything. He made me believe I deserved it." People in the office stop working. Several co-workers peek over their desks, listening. The tension fills the entire room. Jordan feels his stomach twist. "Dad, is this true?" Tom points at him angrily. "You're both ungrateful. I did what I had to do. You two are nothing without me." Rachel wipes her tears. "Tell him the rest, Dad." Tom glares at her, silent. So she says it herself. "He wasn't just going to kick you out, Jordan. He planned to push me out too. Once the house money was gone, he wanted to start fresh, alone, to protect his pride." A stunned silence falls over the office. Jordan feels something inside him break, not in anger but in sadness. His father hadn't betrayed him in one moment. He had betrayed both his children over a long time, slowly, selfishly, with no regret. Tom tries to speak, but the co-workers around him look disgusted, whispering to each other. His lies are no longer protected. He lifts his chin and tries to play the victim. "Look at what you two are doing to me. Your father. After all my sacrifices." But no one believes him. Not anymore. Jordan's shoulders drop. He feels years of stress, disappointment, and emotional pressure slowly leaving him. His chest aches, but it feels like he's finally letting go of a weight he carried since childhood. He doesn't yell. He doesn't argue. He simply whispers, "I'm done." Rachel cries softly. Tom stands frozen, shocked that his control is slipping away. Jordan turns and walks out of the workplace. His legs feel weak, but his heart feels strangely lighter. For the first time, he isn't walking away from fear. He's walking toward peace. He chooses himself. He chooses freedom. He chooses a life not tied to blood obligations that have only hurt him. He doesn't look back. Legal proceedings begin. Jordan attends every meeting with his lawyer, bringing all the evidence he collected. The forged signature becomes the most important part of the case. It proves Tom had no legal right to sell the house. After weeks of paperwork, statements, and hearings, the court finally makes its decision. The sale was fraudulent. The contract is canceled. The house legally belongs to Jordan again. When Jordan hears the judge's words, he feels a heavy weight lift from his chest. It doesn't erase the pain, but it gives him justice. It gives him back the life he worked so hard for. Rachel decides to take responsibility for her own life. She checks herself into therapy, wanting to break her old habits and escape the emotional control Tom had over her. She tells Jordan she wants to change, not for him, not for their father, but for herself. Jordan believes her, but he keeps his distance for now. He cares about her, but he needs space to heal. Jordan also sets strong boundaries for the first time in his life. He cuts contact with Tom completely. No calls, no messages, no visites. He refuses to be the family's savior anymore. He is done fixing everyone's problems while no one cares about his pain. With the house returned to him, Jordan focuses on protecting his future. He upgrades the locks, installs security cameras, and meets with financial advisors to make sure nothing like this can happen again. He begins to feel safe in his home once more, not because others respect it, but because he is finally in control. During this time, Jordan grows close to a coworker who supported him through the toughest moments. She listens without judging, encourages him to rest, and checks on him when he feels overwhelmed. Their bond becomes stronger, warm, and meaningful, something Jordan hasn't felt in a long time. It's not a romance yet, but it hints at a new beginning, a healthier and happier chapter. Slowly, Jordan starts to make the house feel like home again. He paints the walls, buys new furniture, and throws away things that remind him of the past. One day, he stands in the living room holding a new picture frame, and he realizes something important. He finally feels proud of himself. The house, once a symbol of betrayal, becomes a symbol of strength. Every change he makes reminds him that he survived something painful and came out stronger. Jordan knows he will never forget what happened. The memories still sting, but he also knows the pain taught him something valuable. He deserves respect. He deserves peace. He deserves a life built on his own terms. As he places the final decoration on the wall, he steps back and takes a deep breath. For the first time in a long time, he feels grounded, safe, and truly independent. He didn't just get his house back. He got himself back. Jordan stands in his living room, alone, quiet, peaceful. The house feels different now, lighter, safer. The soft light from the window shines across the room, and for a moment he just stands there, breathing it in. He closes his eyes and imagines his mother, Linda. He pictures her gentle smile and warm voice. He wonders what she would say if she could see him now. Maybe she would tell him she's proud. Maybe she would tell him he did the right thing. The thought brings a soft ache to his chest, but also comfort. On the table sits a small handwritten note from Rachel. Jordan picks it up and reads it again. Her words are simple. I'm sorry for everything. I promise I will change. I hope one day you can trust me again. Jordan feels a wave of emotion. He forgives her quietly in his heart, not because she asked, but because he needs to let go to heal. But he also knows he must keep his boundaries. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It means allowing himself to move forward. He sets the note down gently. Walking to the front door, he locks it with a calm confidence. This time, the lock doesn't feel like protection from others. It feels like protection for himself, his own space, his own life, his own peace. Jordan takes a deep breath, feeling the weight of the past finally lifting. In the quiet of the room, he whispers to himself, I'm finally home. Fade out. Hi besties. Thank you so much for watching till the end. If you enjoyed the story, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Love you all. Bye.